about somebody that has maintained a hopeful or optimistic perspective, even though there were some difficult things that you had to go through, whether that was some, penny pinching or financial restraint, or dealing with some friendships or romantic relationships that had to end. I feel like you've had to pull back and subsist on very little and still remain hopeful that things will turn out better than you expected. And I feel like that's going to pay off for you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Let's start off with, we're going to go with the Edgar Allan Poe. I feel like we have some haters in your midst. Some people who did not want to be supportive or doubted your ability to achieve whatever it is that you set out to achieve. Good morning, Minnesota Picker. How are you doing? All right, what else do we have? The Nine of Swords. The Four of Pentacles in the reverse. This is saying it's time to let go of the anxiety and the stress and the, worrying about whether or not things are going to work out. There's an opportunity or a new chapter. So it feels to me like you're being upgraded. Maybe you have paid off some karma. Maybe you have done something that has earned you a really nice spot. But there's something here that changes for you. And I feel like this thing that changes enables multiple areas of your life to be impacted positively. We've got the Queen of Swords. Your boundaries are really important at this time. As you shift, some of you are going, rags to riches, or unknown to famous, unsuccessful to successful. Sometimes that brings people back out from the woodwork, right? People who had not been supportive or not really wanted to see you do well, all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're famous, or oh, you have money. Be cautious with those people. We have the Five of Cups and the King of Swords. In particular, you might have an ex that is regretting walking away from you when things change for you. This Nine of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy. It does not mean that this reading has to be for a woman, but it does mean that you have this sense of independence or being able to take care of yourself. Even if you don't have that now, you're about to have it, which is probably why you're getting a warning, letting you know that there are going to be people who are like, well, now that things have changed for you, I do think that I want to be like close to you or be like good to you. They want to be close to you for their own reasons, right? A little bit of clout chasing or greed. Hello, Zats. Hello, Nat. How are we doing? How are you stuck, Minnesota Picker? So we've got the Page of Wands in the reverse and the Queen of Wands. Yes, so you might not see it quite yet. You might feel that there seems to be some things changing in your favor, but there's a new season or things that start picking up. It's like when you start to see the little green buds on trees and you know that spring is here. Except for the green buds have to do with like your money and the relationships around you. So the Page of Wands in the reverse, for someone here or for a perhaps small group of people, this is bad for them. They were counting on you not doing as well because then they felt like you would have to settle for less with regards to how you connect to others. People wanted to like be right about you not being able to achieve this, and instead what they're seeing is that you've been able to stick with whatever this goal is or remain dedicated. So you're the King of Wands, and other people in your midst, possibly an ex, are this Queen of Wands, keeping one eye on you, but also hoping that you don't get what you want. We have the moon. There's something here that's going to happen, and it's probably an offer. For some of you, this is a job offer, or you're able to buy a house, or you get the apartment that you wanted. Some of you are moving, but there's an offer here, and for some of you, it's a love offer that if you were to, you know, blare it all over the social medias, then there are going to be folks that get into your energy that don't deserve to be there. People who get in your business or start talking about you that probably don't deserve to have that insight into your life. So this is saying be a little bit cautious about who you share information with, especially with something really positive. For some of you, this is like a book deal, or you're getting your album produced. There are haters here that would possibly delay this for you. So Page of Swords in the reverse, Eight of Wands. Be very picky about who gets to know what positive news has happened for you, and wait until you have something more substantial and people will find out. Hello, Zane. How are you doing? Hello, Andrew. How's your day? Hello, Dreamsy. What's up? I hope you are too. This is the Marigold Tarot. Seven of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. That's a lot of air energy. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. There are people that are talking about you. And I feel like there's, in like the next month, maybe two, there's an increase, because what people had said to kind of disparage or make you seem less skilled or talented, they're being proven wrong. Yes, thank you for the likes and the subscribes. What else do we have? The Hierophant in the reverse, the Eight of Wands in the reverse. The people who do not see what you are capable of, or the people who wanted you to feel like you couldn't achieve this, do not deserve to know about the offer, do not deserve to be in on that, right? Especially because they might still try to find a way to doubt or disparage that, make it seem like it's not a big deal. So no announcements on social media unless you have like a smaller group, right? Knight of Cups, Five of Swords, because there's someone here who would seek to ruin this opportunity for you. Like, let's say this is a job offer and you feel pretty solid about things going in your favor. Right before the final interview, you talk to someone who's not really supportive of you or doesn't really believe in you, and they give you bad advice. Or they make you late. There's something here about someone wanting to sabotage your ability to achieve what you need to on your own, or threaten your like financial security or your living situation. They want to get involved in a situation that would make you feel more confident or comfortable, because they don't want to see you in this Nine of Pentacles energy. They don't want to see you independent and doing fine on your own. Now, for some of you, that's a family member, and for others of you, this is an ex. We have the Tower in the reverse, the Emperor in the reverse. Could even be a friend, you know, a fake friend. Tower in the reverse, Emperor in the reverse, and the Five of Rings. So the people who have made you feel like you're not part of the group, or who have made you feel like you're not invited, don't make them feel like they're invited to your situations, right? If there's like some celebration and they didn't want to actually support you, maybe they're not invited. Leave them in the cold is what it's saying. Because when they have some self-motivated interest in getting to know you, it's going to still be an empty connection, because they're still just trying to get whatever they can for themselves. Four of Cups in the reverse, Two of Rings or Two of Pentacles, and the Sun in the reverse. For most of you, this Queen of Wands, again, does not have to be a woman, and the King of Wands does not need to be a man. The Queen of Wands, kind of jealous energy, or the one who doesn't believe in you, this is going to be somebody who wants to get some sort of attention because of their proximity to you, because you are able to set yourself apart or achieve this goal. They want to ride your coattails, you know? Yes, I did. Thank you. Yes. Hello, Himanshu. How are you doing? I'm in the US. Hello, See the Gray. What's up? The one and only. Look, this person blocks you because of their negative energy and, quite frankly, because they got, like, not great karma. So the way I'm seeing it, it kind of pains me to say this. One of my favorite television shows is I Love Lucy. I like a lot of the, like, kind of older style shows. But I like I Love Lucy because she's hilarious and zany and ridiculous, right? But she also is a good example of what not to be, as far as like super gossipy, super me. You know, everybody should allow me to be in their play or their production. And if I'm finding out I'm going to Europe, I have to call everyone and tell them what I'm doing. There's this, like, she's a lovable character, but she's clinging on to some of the elements of fame because of her husband. And I feel like that's something that I see here, where if you become successful, and it sure looks like you're about to, this is somebody who wants to be close to you for the wrong reasons. This is somebody who wants to get pressed because you're getting pressed. You know what I mean? That's not the right reason to be in a relationship with someone, or even, like, you know, reconnect with a family member after a long time. It's just self-serving, right? So let's see what else we've got. This is the What's the News? Hello, Harvey. Hello, Carrie. How's it going? Hello, Francisco. How's your day going? We have detective, snooping, digging for dirt and accusations, with high vibing, good vibes, living to the fullest, enjoying the present. This is someone who wants to get close to you after things improve in your life because they're looking for something to talk about, like gossip about. Like, okay, so everyone loves you, but I'm gonna find something that I can tell them, some like juicy morsel that will make me sound like I'm better than you, or make it sound like you know, don't really deserve this. It's not great intentions. Hello, EXO, how are you doing? It's almost every day, but you know, I guess it could be worse, right? We've got turnt, party animals, sex, drugs, alcohol, surface pleasures. So again, a sense of someone who is really trying to be like envied by others, maybe uses the party scene in order to try to ingratiate themselves or get to know people who they want to be seen with. Socialite type thing, right? But as they try to look for information about you, they're starting to get a little bit insecure about their position because they're not finding anything that is very gossipy about you. Maybe you're just really focused on your goals right now. Maybe you're just a real nice person and they can't find anything negative to say. Aw, thank you for still being a member. I haven't scared you off yet. It was great. I hope you have fun plans for the holiday, Minnesota Picker. I think I heard that there might not even be snow up there for Christmas. We've got puzzled, confused, perplexed, and conflicted. I don't get it. If I've spent all this time trying to find something about you that is bad or someone who dislikes you and I haven't found anybody yet, what does it mean? You guys remember that video that went viral with the double rainbow? I feel like this person is just like, what does it mean? It has to mean something because they can't find anything that is worth like gossiping or trying to use against you because you've just been working. You've just been doing the things you need to improve in your, you know, living situation, your financial situation, or in your relationship. So they might have to resort to making something up about you. Okay. But this is the Queen of Wands, the person who wants to somehow gain access back into your life now that you have found some sort of success or when you find that success. You're being encouraged to remain silent. This is someone who, let's say you have a video that goes viral or you have an album that does really well. This is someone who wants to be like, oh, yeah, I woke up next to that person. Or, that person snores. I have a picture of them in bed. They want some sort of notoriety or fame associated to another person's success. Hello, Joker. Hello, Moss. How are you doing? Hello, Milkman. What's up? How are you doing? It's still stuck in my mind. It lives in my mind rent-free. We have, especially the episode where they had the virus, you know, with the like pirate dude that was marching across the screen. So we have the divine feminine. If I really wanted to be mean, I would find a way to make that my alarm clock. I don't really use an alarm clock because I wake up early, but that would be definitely jarring and effective. So we have the divine feminine card and the time card. Feminine energy, waiting, cycles, moments, and then we have boundaries. So this is someone who feels like your loving, compassionate side is the type that I feel is more likely to take someone like me back in, even after we've had an argument or a breakup. So all I have to do is wait for a certain amount of time. And then when I come back around, you'll be more likely to just kind of like forget what happened in the past. Maybe I can just like quickly rattle off an apology, and then those boundaries won't be there anymore. That's what they think. I don't know if they're right about that. Maybe that's how you operated in the past. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I don't feel like you're going to let this person back in. Stress, turbulence, tension, arguments. Longing, craving, aching, wanting. And conflicted. Yeah, if I wait enough time and allow you to like think about the good times that we had or kind of like forget the argument or the hot and cold energy in our connection, then maybe you'll allow me to come back around and we can pursue another chapter. But I don't think that's how it's going to work out. This Nine of Pentacles seems to be pretty determined to avoid repeating that cycle. So the maybe you've forgotten about it by now tactic might be a little bit less successful than the Queen of Wands is hoping. Hello, Chester. Aww, hopefully you can find a different channel that you do like. A spa does sound good. I agree. Hello, April. How are you doing? So we've got the Tower in the reverse and the Chariot in the reverse. See, I think you're going to tell this person no thank you, or you're going to keep them blocked. I think you can see that there's no benefit to reconnecting with this individual when you've already learned the lesson associated with them. So they want to change your mind or change your perspective, get to like, I don't know, have you see them in a better light, but you still feel like that's something that just like offsets the balance or makes things more difficult, you know? Like, thanks, but no thanks. That's like, you're asking me if I want to eat like meatballs and spaghetti when I'm wearing all white. You know, like, I'm already paranoid about the white pants getting something spilt on them. Why would I make it more risky for myself by eating a really messy pasta? This person is just messy. Sorry, Carmen said I can't hang out with you again because you're a meatball. What? I don't know. It's something like that. King of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, you know this person is willing to say what they need to say to get what they want, but that they come with some chaos or drama or toxic energy that you don't really have place for in your life anymore. You're just kind of like, no thanks. If I want to get messy, I'll just bake cookies without an apron. That's how crazy I'm willing to get. But they're freaking out because they feel like their access to you is like kind of a requirement for them to get what they want. They want to be seen, they want to be envied, they want to have a certain lifestyle, or they want to be close to someone who's doing well. But I don't know that they're, I don't know. I don't feel like they have a very good like grasp on how you are going to respond. It kind of feels to me like this person is a little bit delusional in terms of how others view them and whether or not people trust them. Yes, thank you for the likes and the subscribes. So we've got the Eight of Swords, the blindfolded cat. Someone who, like I said, they don't see that people don't like them. People don't trust them. People don't feel like they should, you know, believe what they say. I feel like with the Hermit, we have a lot of people who have already realized that this Queen of Wands can't be trusted. Like, oh, you said you did so that's really great. I'm sure you did. Oh, you're gonna pay me back? Yeah, right. I'm not sure I believe that. But this is someone who has a bit of an ego, so they don't necessarily pick up on what people might actually be feeling for them. It's something that conflicts with their own perception of themselves. So they'd be more likely to assume, oh, that person's just jealous of me. They're not actually like picking up on something that I need to work on or something that's bad. They wish they were me, you know? So I don't think that they realize that you're really over this or that you're really not interested in repeating a cycle, because there is that, you know, ego getting in the way. Four of Swords in the reverse. Seven of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So they're going to invest in this little operation of theirs, right? They're trying to get information. They're trying to get back into your energy. They're expounding or spending a lot of their time and energy on something where I feel like most of you are going to look at a message and delete it, or not even see it because you blocked them. I don't think you're going to give this person the time of day. Hello, Amy. How are you doing today? All right, let's see what else we've got. This is the Kipper. I hope you're doing well. What do we have? Main male in the reverse. False person and thoughts. So you don't think about me. You don't really want me involved in your life. And I'm struggling with that, so I have to come up with some sort of a plan to get you to accept me again. Why? Because I feel like your success is a magnet for other people or opportunities. For some of you, this person literally wants to be in your sphere in order to get with someone else. Classy. Hello, Juan. How are you doing? Hey, Redbeard. Welcome back. So we have community, child, and toil and labor in the reverse. I don't think their work is going to pay off because, again, I feel like you are already over this. You see through their intentions. I think you also feel like they're a bit childish, and you are only interested in allowing people in your inner circle that do have some trustworthiness that you've already been able to demonstrate, right? Hello, Priyanka. How are you doing today? So let's get their thoughts, shall we? We're going to get a few from the Overthinker's Oracle. What else do we have on this person? What else do we have? Amy, I have been live for about 26 minutes and a half. So this is saying practice forgiveness. We don't need to be carrying around resentment or grudges. It really does weigh something, right? If we imagine our lives as a plane trip where you can only have a 50-pound bag, let's just like make sure we're not wasting it with resentment for people in the past. This is saying let go of this, forgive this person, but keep in mind that their goal is to try to find information about you. This is not someone who's actually wanting a serious relationship or to be a good friend. They want information and they want connections. So they're going to probably try to love bomb you or try to seduce you. They're going to try to talk about how important you are in their life, how emotional they get. But again, I think you can see that their motivations are pretty mediocre. Yes, good point, Nick. You can, or sorry, good point, Moths. You can forgive from a distance. And hello to Nick. Thank you, Zats. Advice for the week? I got you. All right. This is my least favorite card in the entire place. There could be some questions as to whether or not this person is being safe in their interactions, but would not be honest with you about that. I didn't comprehend what this connection was until it was too late. They may even try to talk about how they feel like you were lovers in a previous life and now is your chance to be together. They feel like if you get successful after they were with you, that they're being like cheated out of some fame or glorious lifestyle. And they feel entitled to that, to being next to you when you are successful because they want to live that type of life, not because of how they treat you. I've written down your name, Priyanka, and I'll keep my eyes peeled for your question, okay? So if you have this person blocked, my vote would be to keep them blocked. If this person is unwilling to accept that you're uninterested, you might have to block them. We do have someone here who feels like it's okay to be all up in your business, whether that's catfishing you or literally trying to see where you're headed and what you're up to. Hello, Kimberly. How are you doing? Thank you, Moths. Was G lying about her sob story? I've added that for you. Did we get Priyanka's question? Hello, Morgan. How are you doing? I did not see that yet. Hello, William. Thank you for the tip. How are you doing? Does she still have feelings for me? I've added that. And William, just in case you are new, I do like to start the personal questions right around 30 or 35 minutes. It's already at 30, so it probably won't take too long. As of right now, I've got Zatz, Priyanka, Moss, and then William. Priyanka, let me know if there is a general direction or a question. And hello, spiritual healer. What else do we have? Thank you for the floating heart. Dark attachments, negative energy, spiritual blockages. I told you this person has bad karma. They would slow down your success, or for some of you, even I don't know if I want to say ruin, but it would have to be one of those things where you separate from this person. My pride and ego got the best of me, but you have this ability to make a choice and not be impacted, even though they're going to make an effort. And if you're no contact, they're going to come out of no contact in the hope that they can convince you that you're soulmates. But this is a false twin flame, someone who likes to make it seem like they're learning things when they really are not. A colleague from before connected today. We share some of these when they're great trusted friend at home. Can I request? Yeah. Around the colleague. I have added that. Did you say there was one before that, Priyanka? Because I have not seen one before that. I don't know if I missed it, but checking back. So yeah, just let me know if there was something beyond the one regarding your colleague. And let's just end the general reading with a few from the Love Oracle. Ooh, did I already pull some from there? I did. All right, then we will do the Earth and Bone Oracle, and then we'll switch over to those personal questions, okay? Oh, I hope things get easier for you, William. Hello, is it Maria? How are you doing? Hello, Joao, how are you doing? Sounds good, Priyanka. So we've got Sorcerer, number 18, ambition, determination, willpower, creation, and focus. There is something, if you resonate with this energy, this King of Wands energy, you have better love interests, opportunities, you have better professional opportunities, money situation, but this person from your past can impact it, can delay it or minimize it. They don't have access to you right now for a reason, and that's part of the reason you're able to gain some traction here. Thank you, Amy. I'm going to add that for you. Has Matt reached out and been unable to get a hold of you? Like if it was blocked or like wrong number? I've got that for you. Thank you, Amy. Hello, Anne. How are you doing? Ooh, hello, Stephanie. How are you doing? Thank you for the tip. Why do I feel like my sister tries to one-up me always? That sounds exhausting. I've added that. Thank you for the tip. And we've got shelter, number 1, spiritual growth, revival, accountability, and healing. If this is someone who does not deserve to be around you, and you already know that, then there really isn't too much to talk about. For some of you, there's really nothing this person could say that would convince you. You already know what their intentions are. For others of you, even just like the way they initially approach you seems kind of empty or disappointing. Conjurer, higher self, subconscious, influencing, and creation. Again, you have more important things to be putting your time and energy into. This person is like an energy vampire or like a joyful vacuum. They cause problems wherever they go, and you don't need them. You're good on that, right? Like, no, thank you. I do not want any of that. All right, we're gonna move over to those personal questions. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. All right, let's start with Zatz. What is the advice for Zatz over this week, for this week? 5 of Swords. 4 of Cups in the reverse, and the Knight of Wands. So this feels to me like there's someone in your energy. This could, of course, be you or someone you care about. But there's someone here who has decided to make a change. This is a person who has dealt with self-sabotage and maybe has procrastinated on certain things that needed to change, or, you know, making that new path kind of like stick. So this could even be about, like, you know, quitting smoking, or finally getting back to that art project you've been working on. But I see someone here regaining motivation or even inspiration after a period of feeling a little bit like in the dark or not really knowing where to go with this. With the 9 of Wands in the reverse, 8 of Wands in the reverse, I do feel like this is kind of like, you know, it took a long time, but all of a sudden now I feel like the energy is different. So again, could be someone you care about or you, but I see like fog lifting and someone being able to get back to, you know, having that motivation and that confidence to tackle what they need to be able to tackle. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that this is someone whose intuition is a little bit slow to return. So if this is you or someone that you could potentially pass this message on to, we've got a risk of dealing with somebody when your defenses are kind of low, that you should know better than to deal with. So protect your energy. Thank you, April. Let me add that for you. Is she just pretending to be your friend? Yeah, I've got to be a little bit careful with those folks, right? Sometimes you got ulterior motives. And what was the other part? Is she just a friend of me? Is she gossiping about me? I'm adding that for you. Thank you, April. I'm trying to write smaller so I can fit more on a page. Let's see how that goes. No problem. All right, let's see what we've got for Priyanka. What does Priyanka need to know about the colleague that she has reconnected with today? The one who reached out. What does Priyanka need to know about this person? 6 of Pumpkins or 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. 7 of Swords, 6 of Candles, 5 of Candles in the reverse. I feel like this is someone who's thought about you and may be a little bit concerned about how you view them. Does this person have like a romantic interest in Priyanka? I do feel like this is someone who has an interest in you or has like a crush on you in some way. This is someone who feels like they need to put up some sort of like facade or kind of pretend who they are or what's going on in their life. They want to look their best. It's like Romeo and Michelle. I don't know if you've seen that, but they just like kind of create some fake life in order to impress people at their high school reunion. So it kind of feels to me like this is someone who's wanting to put their best foot forward, or, you know, wearing their Sunday's best. They want to come across as confident and strong and desirable. And what are your intentions? 7 of Pumpkins or 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, the Hermit, and Suspension. This is someone who's really just thinking about what they need at the end of the day. And with the Seven of Pentacles being in the reverse, I don't feel like they're going to fully invest in whatever this is. Even if this isn't about you going on a date, this is a person who's holding back what they would normally offer in this situation. And in part, it's because they feel stuck and they might feel better if someone else felt stuck. So in an odd way, they're looking for like companionship, but it's not a very, it's like a toxic way to look for companionship. Hello, Andrew. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, I think I can do that for you. I'll add that at the end. And then we've got moths up next. And moths, let's get a different tarot deck for you. I think we'll go with the OG, the Rider-Waite. So was G lying about the sob story shared with moths? Was the sob story a lie? Yes. There may have been a kernel of truth or a morsel of truth, but it was at the very least exaggerated, because what my goal is to get you to feel like you have something that you could do or something that you could give me to make things better. This is like, you know, how can I get you to feel bad for what I'm going through so that you don't like call me out for things that I'm not supposed to be doing, or so that you, you know, are a little bit softer or kinder. But this is manipulative. We have the Lovers. There was a point where G had a choice and G made the wrong choice. G doesn't want you to know that that choice was available, right? This is like, no, there was instability or chaos that was unavoidable. I couldn't have predicted this, and I just had to do like the right, no. There was a choice here, and G made that choice. The other thing is, G's intuition was pretty much screaming at G, don't do that. What do you mean? I can't hear you. I want to do it anyways. It's kind of like how I'm saying it. So I don't trust this person. Sorry. You deserve someone who's going to be honest, right? Hello, Ali. How are you doing? All right. Let's see what we've got for William. And we'll go with the Spanish tarot. Does she still have feelings for William? Does she still have feelings for William? Yes. She hides them. She hides them real good. It's like camouflage. 3 of Wands. I'm waiting for someone and hoping that there's going to be a new opportunity, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to let anyone see that that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I want someone to come back around and talk to me. Eight of Swords in the reverse and the 4 of Swords. Yeah, hoping for reconciliation or repairing whatever has been broken. Feeling like there's been a change in perspective. So this person sees things differently than they did when you last spoke to them. And there's a desire for investing in this. You know, like, I want to try this and make this work. Hello, Navanit. If you want, I can just ask for guidance on your relationship, or if you have something more specific, feel free to add it to the live chat. I will say it's easiest for me to see the questions that y'all want me to address if you put it with the super chat, because then of course it's like a bubble. Hello, United, how you doing? Hello, Rick, how's your day? So yes, I do feel like there is still some unfinished business here, William, and there are feelings, but they're hidden. And I wish you luck on that. Let's see what we get for Amy. This is the Cat's Eye Tarot. Yes, that does help. So for Amy, we have, has Matt reached out and not been able to get through? Has Matt tried to contact Amy and failed? No, it's more so like I reach for like to text or to call and then I stop myself. Page of Cups in the reverse, the Empress, and the Three of Pentacles. It's like I think about it, I might even come up with a plan, or I might even ask a friend about this, but then it's like, I don't know, because Page of Cups is in the reverse. It's like that offer or that communication doesn't get through. Thank you, Unida. Let me add that for you. So is this going, like, is there going to be courage at some point? I do feel like there is, in the near future, going to be an actual attempt. You know, the phone is ringing or the text is sent. Three of Cups in the reverse, Queen of Swords in the reverse, Seven of Swords. But I feel like it's almost like a gruff, like, confession. Like, yeah, I do miss you. Or, you know what, I did mess up. But it's not like super embellished or it's not like a paragraph. It's just like, you were right, you know? And maybe that's where I should start. So I don't know if it's just like, I've tried too much to just like sandwich what I'm trying to say in other nice words. I'm just going to try to say that one like 3-word, 4-word phrase, and then we can go from there if you want to. But it's going to take a little while for this person to get to that point. And I hope you all, by the way, not just Amy, but it was because I was responding to Amy. I hope you all are going to be able to have delightful holidays if you celebrate over the next, you know, couple days or weeks. Let's see what we've got for Stephanie. This is the Morgan Greer. And Stephanie was asking, why do I feel like my sister's always trying to one-up me? Why do I feel like my sister's always trying to one-up me? Seven of Wands. Hermit in the reverse. Well, the number 7 is important. Got 2 7s. I think you're right. I don't know why there seems to be this consistent like pairing up of the two of you. Maybe it's because you're quite divergent in personalities. Maybe it's because you look very similar. Maybe it's because you have a very different approach to your career or to relationships. But what I'm seeing in my mind is I don't know however many people out there are like me, but if there's an opportunity where I'm going to the same place as like a friend of mine and we're leaving the same place at the same time, I cannot help it. It's in my genes. I know my grandfather used to be like this. I'm going to see if I can get there before you. Like, I'm not gonna like disobey laws. I'm gonna try to drive reasonably, but I want to know if I'm gonna get there before you. And I feel like this is like, I can't stop it. I just feel like I have to be the better sister. So this is like autopilot for your sister. I don't want to be the last one chosen. I don't want to be, you know, the person that people say, oh, isn't that unfortunate? So is this like a conscious choice? I think so, but I think your sister looks at it as we're sisters. We're supposed to compete. It's just like how that is. I don't know if it's quite fair, but I think that's how she looks at it. There's something that's going to change, though. Something is going to shift in this perspective. And I feel like it's someone outside of your connection. It could be another family member, it could be a friend, but I feel like someone says something and it's very true. And it comes from a place of wanting to help your sister see things more clearly. And I feel like it's like, you know, if you continue to compete with your sister, do you feel like you're going to be able to have the kind of relationship that you want? If you continue to treat somebody that way, do you really expect them to want to be kind or compassionate or sharing with you? There's someone here who's just kind of like a little bit of a slap to the face. Like, would you be nice to someone if they were treating you the way that you treat them? I don't think you would. I know you. They get a little bit called out here, and I think it's pretty effective. It's a little bit of like a, maybe you need a little time to think about what you've done. Go sit in the corner and think about it. So I do feel like there's hope here for things to shift in a more like compassionate or camaraderie type way. All right, let's see what else we've got. We've got April up next, and this is the Pause Tarot. Is the coworker just pretending to be April's friend? Is the coworker just pretending to be April's friend? So what I saw in my mind is Mean Girls, where the lines were kind of blurred because the initial point was I want to, you know, get into this group of friends so that I can expose them or make fun of them. I don't really like the popular girls and I'm going to cause some drama for them, right? But there was also a point where Lindsay Lohan's character starts to become like them, right? When you try to pretend that you are something and you surround yourself with that energy or that thing, right? You might actually fall in and become part of that group. So I feel like this is somebody whose intentions are kind of murky. Maybe I initially just was curious and thought it would be funny if we could make fun of you or if we could, you know, be a little bit petty. 2 cups in the reverse. But I think we also have somebody who's starting to feel a little bit like this is going too far. Someone who's like, maybe we should just leave April alone. Or maybe I'm not interested in teaming up with other people in order to make someone else feel small or silly, right? So should there be, like, should she consider this a frenemy? Yes. Keep this person at arm's length, which is also to say, do not push this person or like throw them to the other end of the football field, right? It may be beneficial for you to be just kind of chill, not close, but also not call this person out. Because I do feel like to some degree, this person kind of feels more like they could trust you more than the other people that they had been close with. But you also can't really trust this person. So we have the 4 of Wands. This is like, I feel like this is the structure. This is what, you know, this is how it's done. They're questioning that. And I feel like that has to do with a clique. And are they gossiping about April? The others are, but I feel like the one that you consider to be a friend is kind of regretting what they've participated in. So hopefully this means someone's learning a lesson because they realize that you're actually a pretty decent person, right? And I'm going to go ahead and send you some protective energy. Remember that you're awesome, okay? Hello, Holy Ghost. How are you doing? Let's see what we've got. Oops, that's not the right one. Let's see what we've got for Andrew. What are Michaela's intentions towards Andrew? What are Michaela's intentions towards Andrew? Ace of Cups in the reverse. 2 of Wands. This looks like an ending and making sure there's someone else that I get attention from if there is an ending. she's like making plans for what happens when things end. Where do I go? How do I get what I need? King of Swords and Judgment in the reverse. But I feel like she's going to go about this the wrong way. It's like, I feel like she tells other people that she wants to end a relationship, but doesn't tell you. Or I feel like she wants to, you know, make things difficult and expects you to break up. But it doesn't feel like this is like a direct and like respectful approach to this. We have the Two of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, I've made up my mind, or I know that something's going to happen, but I am not communicating about it. I'm not going to be the one to do it. Maybe because it's like I want you to look like the bad person. Is this like manipulative? Yeah. This is like, you do the work. I'll make it difficult or like undesirable for you, and then it's like only a matter of time, and then I can tell everybody that, like, you know, you were mean. I hope I'm not like exaggerating here, but this is just kind of like, I'm not going to do the communication the way that I should, right? Because that's just work. But if that's how someone feels, they should probably communicate that. Ooh, let me make sure I get these other ones. Thank you, Unida. What am I being protected from at this time? I got that for you. And then Stephanie wants to know, does C have true love for me? And will he confess? I've added that for you. Thank you, Stephanie. So Andrew, it might make sense to have a conversation. I probably don't have to advise you on this, but because it feels like this is one of those things where your partner's just not wanting to be forthcoming or actually have this conversation that they're expecting. Hello, Erin. How are you doing? So we've got Navneet up next. And let's see, what do I want for that? We're going to go with the Metamuse. Navneet, I just have the word relationship written down. If you had a specific question. Oh, yeah. No, she's up next. Sorry, I probably shouldn't assume if you are female or not, but Navneet, I have relationship written down, but I don't know if you had like a specific question. Is it okay if I just pull a few cards and see what advice you get regarding that relationship? I will start with that and we'll see. What does Navneet need to know regarding the relationship? Six of Cups in the reverse. The Six of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so the number 6 is important. And the Knight of Cups, Two of Swords in the reverse. This feels to me like we have someone who's trying to make a decision regarding a person who's unwilling to change their behavior. We might have a repeating argument or someone who continues to make things worse instead of trying to resolve things. So you might even feel like you have to walk on eggshells around this person. And I feel like the decision is not yet made, right? Should Navneet think of marrying this person? I feel like there's a lot of opportunity with this person, but there is a need for some work. In other words, you have a lot of great chemistry or things in common as far as how you envision life, but this person needs to be willing to work on something that causes tension between the two of you. It doesn't obviously have to be this, but as an example, you know, I'm always the one who makes the food, and then I also have to do the dishes. It would be nice if you could help with part of that, or, you know, I'm always the one who has to you know, pay the bills and make sure everything's okay with regards to finances. It would be nice if you could contribute. There's something here where this person's being a little bit hesitant to put forth the effort that they should, and those things need to be addressed earlier on than later, because then it's like more difficult to get this to change, right? But I do feel like there's a lot of promise. This person just needs to be willing to work with you. And we got the Death card. Now I know a lot of people would say, oh, that's scary, it's an end. No, this is about transformation. I do feel like this is someone who is willing to work with you on this. They might be resistant at first. Your approach, of course, is really important. We don't want to make it seem like an ultimatum, but this is like, we need to work on this, and as long as we can work on that, I see like a lot of beautiful connection and learning from each other, working with each other thing. This is something that has to change, though. All right, let me get a different tarot deck for Unida. We'll go with the Earth and Bones Tarot. What are the daily vibes for Unida, please? I do not mind helping y'all out with that. I probably can't do it for everyone, but, you know, I happen to really like both of you. So I'm happy to help with that. That does get to be a little bit of an issue as far as not wanting everybody else to see it, though, right? So we've got the Six of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Chariot, and the reverse. So Unida, there is a sense of victory or success here, but it is dependent upon you taking action. We have Strength and Death and the reverse. So there's something here that is not quite done. This could be, you know, you've got a to-do list, or there could be a, you know, set process that needs to be completed and one thing has not been done. But I feel like there is something here about like all the pins being set and you being able to knock all of them over. So just be very focused on details. Make sure everything that you needed, like I's are dotted, T's are crossed. Because I do feel like there's one thing here that you're missing. This is like making me think about people who like forget to turn on the oven for Thanksgiving, or people who, you know, forget that the pizza's in the oven and then it burns. There's some little detail here that you're able to adjust or be mindful of, and it leads to a great success or a feeling of victory, like, yay, I've gotten what I needed to get done, right? Hello, Tuxedo. How are you doing? And what do we have with regards to insight on what Unida is being protected from? The Moon, the Eight of Jars, someone who I feel has walked away from you. This person has a very secretive and elusive, maybe even deceptive energy. This is someone who's trying to figure out information about you, even though they are at a distance. This could be talking about emotional distance, but I feel like this person's actually not near you. They're trying to get insight without having a real clear line to what's going on in your life. Five of Swords, or Five of Crystals, and the reverse, and the Six of Jars. This is someone you've known for a long time. This is someone who feels like you should be trying to make things right with them, but you seem to be content to allow the instability or the distance between the two of you to remain as it is. So I feel like this is someone who's going to try to like do something or say something, kind of create, yeah, the Tower. I feel like this is going to be kind of shocking, or, you know, I've got to do something like a big gesture, or say something that's like kind of unbelievable in order to get this person to respond. So you're being protected from this person. This probably means don't respond to this person. So are they lying? Whatever they're doing to try to get, yeah, they're lying. They're trying to hide some information and like tailor it with the intent that it would get you to respond when you normally wouldn't. So you're being protected from someone who wants access, and you know this person does not deserve access to you. So you are protected from that. All right, let's see what we've got for Stephanie's question. Does C have true love for me? Does C have true love for Stephanie? No, I think this is someone who struggles to allow themselves to get to that point. When they feel like things are getting heavy or serious, they try to pivot and focus on something else. They don't want to have any dependency or long-term interest, but we have the Hanged Man. I feel like as they think about this more and more, they start to realize that maybe they really did fall in love. The problem is if they're determined to not acknowledge it or determined to ignore what they have with you, then I would not consider that to be true love, right? Because that would be someone who is unwilling to love. Are they going to realize eventually that it's love? Yes. But they have to lose it first because they are so willing to be blinded to it, because they are so afraid of being in love or being abandoned or rejected. They don't want to admit that something is actually like veritable love. Hello, Florence. How are you doing? And will he eventually confess? At this time, it looks like it's a no because it does require some ego death or some new approach. But the thing is, they have to get more comfortable with the divine feminine side of themselves, and it's something that they're literally scared of. So I think it's possible, but it would be in the long-term future because there's several hurdles they would have to clear before they get to that point. So, all right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to.